Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Prior to tonight's meeting, on January 13th, we had executive session to discuss personnel. And prior to tonight, we had executive session to discuss personnel as well as legal, including Kay, Link, and how do you say that last one? Which was name?
Kay, Link, and Woloshinsky.
Woloshinsky. It's a mouthful. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda A through C?
So moved.
I will second that. All those in favor? Aye. Confirmed appointments. There you guys are. Come on up.
Do you have the abridged version, I hope?
It's a long one.
What's that?
I'm sure it's a long one.
I'm sure it is.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Regina Armitage. I'm the local district judge, and I sworn in a handful of people, I guess it was a couple weeks ago. This one got pushed back due to the snow. But here I am tonight to swear in my friend and our auditor now, Christina Ziggy. So if you could repeat after me. And look at the camera right now and then smile. It's about you tonight. So, I, Christina Ziggy, of Percy, Pennsylvania, being duly elected to serve a 2-year term on the Hilltown Township Board of Auditors in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth. That I will, during my term of office, perform the duties of my office with fidelity. That I have not paid or contributed or promised to pay or contribute. Directly or indirectly. Money or anything else of value. To procure my nomination, appointment, or election. Except for necessary and legitimate expenses. Expressly authorized by law. That I have not knowingly violated any laws of this Commonwealth. Or procured it to be done by others on my behalf. That I will not knowingly receive directly or indirectly. Money or anything else of value. For the performance or non-performance. Of any act or duty pertaining to my office. Other than the compensation allowed by law. Well, congratulations, Christina. I know. All right, thank you. All right, let's go over here to most paperwork. Take care.
I call which way to buy back. It's the longest part of the meeting. By the way, did you sign red?
Oh, no, we are not doing that. Does anybody else? Thank you. I'll give you a pen and just.
Okay.
No, me. You remember. It's on both ways.
Congratulations, Christine.
Yes, congrats. Have a good night.
Okay. Community event. Maria Gannon. Are you here? Come on up.
Hello.
Hi, Maria, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Do you want me to present a little bit about what Noni's Garden is?
That would be great.
Okay. So Noni's Garden is a nonprofit that was started when my mom passed away from dementia, complications from dementia. And so our family started this, where we build therapeutic gardens at memory care units. And we hold one fundraiser a year. And this year we would like to hold it here in Hilltown Township. We have a Catholic Mass that we go to first. So this year it's being held at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, followed by a walkathon. And then all of the funds that we raise go right into building 2 gardens. Our recipients this year are a memory care out in Chester County in Aston, Pennsylvania, and the other one is in Flowertown, Montgomery County. Last year we built gardens in Quakertown at Phoebe Richland, and one in Plymouth Meeting, Arista Care.
Great. Great.
So I have little brochures too, if you guys want
Sure.
to see a little bit.
Yeah.
Do I bring them
Yeah,
right
sure,
to
come on
you?
up.
Yes.
Yeah, you want a motion to
Thank
approve
you.
this? You want a motion to approve it?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
How many people normally attend?
About 50. This is our second year, so
Okay.
we have about 50, maybe 60.
Okay,
It's all word of mouth and social media.
okay.
I saw it goes for 3 hours. Is that the mass first? So 2 hours of walking about?
Well, they do one little, it's
One
a lot of
little-
old
okay.
people, so.
Gotcha.
No offense to anyone, but
That's all right.
it's mostly our family, and then friends.
Okay.
We talking a 30-minute mile here, is that?
Yeah, it's not that long, but I'm gonna order pizzas from locals. Yeah,
Great.
so I don't see anybody staying longer than 3 hours, especially if it's chilly. Like last year, it was really windy, so.
Yeah, March, you never know, right?
Right, but we do it around my mom's birthday, so that's why I always pick that weekend.
That's nice. Can I get a motion to approve the walkathon at Civic Park for March 8th, 2026?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much.
Wonderful,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I have flyers if anybody's interested.
There's a
attending.
table, there's a
Put it
table
on
at
the
the back,
table?
yeah.
Please,
Okay.
yes.
All right, that's cool too, thank you.
Thank you. Another community event. Can't believe it's this time already. Terry, come on up.
Good evening. Thanks for inviting me. We're doing the same type of event as we did before. Requesting approval for our 8th annual community event, same format as the last 4 years. It's held on the 23-acre Berge property, County Line Road across from Jesse's Barbecue, September 19 and 20. All free family event, food, kids block party, petting zoo, concerts, speakers, sports celebrities, people sharing stories of how they found hope in the darkest time of their life. 6 police departments, including Hilltown, will be a part of our event. 80 plus nonprofits will offer resources for those struggling. And our goal is linking hope for life, linking first responders, nonprofits, faith and business communities for a healthier community. We kick off our event with St. Luke's and Penn Foundation Recovery Walk is for everyone. We had over 400 walkers last year, so just trying to make a difference in the community. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Any questions?
You have anything?
Do you have anything? I don't.
No.
No.
Terry.
Like I said, I can't believe it's already back.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve Sweatshirt of Hope 2026, September 19 and 20?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Got it.
Terry.
You want to do the public comment now for the?
Yes.
Here.
At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Kevin Costello to the podium for brief public comments prior to our board appointments.
Hi all, my name's Kevin Costello, lifetime resident of Hilltown Township. And I just want to express my appreciation and gratitude for the job your Public Works Department did. They did an outstanding job.
I would agree.
I've been in other townships, I've been in Silver, I've been all over the place. And they cleaned everything up and worked relentlessly. And I know what that kind of storm is, when it starts and it just continues throughout the weekend, and then you gotta work another 40 hours or whatever it was. So I wanna give them my appreciation and thank you. And I know a little bit about it. I'm retired from Montgomery Township for 42 years, so.
You
I
might
know the
something,
business.
huh?
Yeah, I know the business, and they did an outstanding.
Our roadmaster's right there.
Great
Yeah.
job.
And the fire department and the police department, as always, do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I go back to the police department when it was Ed Smith and Ashley Watts, part-time officers. How many people can say that?
Chief,
No.
were you there?
Yeah.
As a child.
Many moons ago, Chris.
Yes, it was. But thank you again for listening
Thank
to me,
you.
and thank you for the great work.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, appreciate it,
that.
thank you.
Okay, board appointments. We have an opening on our planning commission that recently came up. We have one 4-year term available, and we have 4 separate applicants seeking the position. Stephen C. Lees, Alyssa Schnell, Scott Payne, and Kevin Foster. Would you like to make a motion to approve one of those, Jim?
I would. Hopefully you agree, because it's just
If
the
not,
two of
we're in
us.
trouble.
Exactly. Make a motion for Stephen C. Liss, I think is how you pronounce the last name,
Okay.
for that 1 4-year term on the planning commission.
Well, I will absolutely agree with that and second that. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we also have an opening on the UCC Board of Appeals for one 5-year term, and we have one gentleman, Jeff Crozier?
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 Close enough.
Yeah, potato, potato.
Exactly.
Can I get a motion to approve Jeff?
I will make that a motion to approve Jeff.
Okay, I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all the heavy lifting's done. I turn it over to you, Jack.
All right, there are 2 zoning hearings coming up, which I need some input from the board on regarding whether or not I need to attend. The first, Mariah Investments LLC application, it was a postponed hearing, I believe, from the end of January due to the storm. This is a fence variance. Apparently, the property has some significant deer issues. They're asking for a fence of a height greater than mandated by ordinance. I don't think that's something that necessarily merits my attention at a zoning hearing. They can make their pitch to the zoning hearing board.
I would agree.
So would you agree?
I would agree too.
I would agree.
All right. So I won't attend that one. The second one, I sort of, is a fait accompli. I sort of have to attend. That's a zoning enforcement matter. And because we initiated that, I need to prosecute that case. So that one, I need your authorization to attend.
So granted.
Do you need that form of motion, Jack, or?
Can't hurt.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I get a motion to approve Jack to attend the zoning hearing board 2025-010?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Planning. Mr. Fulmer.
Okay, first item under planning is the RCJ Meadowbrook LLC minor subdivision. This project was before the Township Planning Commission on January the 20th. Because of your meeting cancellation last month, it got pushed onto this agenda, but this is a 2-lot subdivision, 1 building lot, 1 lot containing existing house in the RR district along Hilltown Pike, and they are looking to receive a preliminary and final approval tonight. Mr. Moyer from Meese Engineering is here in case you have any questions. Just to give you a complete rundown of the Planning Commission's recommendation, they did recommend approval based upon the December 22nd letter, 2025 letter from my office, subject to approval of all the waivers. There is a capital contribution of discussion worthy item on the street improvements, and all the other items will comply. Drew, do you have anything you want to share or add to the equation here tonight?
No, you seem to cover that pretty well.
All right. Is there any question from the board on the plan? Anything you want to
you want to discuss the capital contribution?
Normally on 2-lot subdivisions, it's been
Yeah, we kind of have the,
standard amount of 5,000.
yep.
You put the motion together.
I assume you're agreeable to that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking for a motion to approve RCJ Meadowbrook, the minor subdivision preliminary and final approval, conditioned upon compliance with Tim's engineering letter dated December 22nd, 2025. And capital contribution of 5,000.
Amount of 5,000. And everything's will comply, right, Drew? That's what you said?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
All right, moving ahead then to the next item, which is the Rosenthal Tract subdivision. As the board may recall, this was before you in December, at which time there was extensive discussion on the review. However, there was no action taken at the time. There was one issue that is really the reason that they've come back tonight to discuss with you. There was concern at the December meeting about the number of access points for the retirement village portion of the property. The current plan shows one boulevard-style access along Swartley Road for the, I believe it's 73 retirement village units with an emergency access in the back. The request was from the township to see what it would look like if the applicant were also to do either a emergency access directly onto Swartley for that community, and or also a full-service access to provide a second public, quote-unquote, public access onto Swartley. I'm going to turn it over to Rich Carroll. He's the applicant. He's here tonight. I don't know if you want to present anything on that, Rich, while you're here?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
go ahead.
Thank you. So we have, the board asked us to look at two options. The one on the screen right now is well, let me start by saying both options do not have a change in unit count. So it's still 73 units with a clubhouse in the active adult PC1 area. So neither of these plans have a change in unit count. So the plan on the screen now in front of you is a plan showing the single access road down the bottom with a emergency access that will tie into the walking path and front sidewalk, concrete sidewalk, along the frontage of the property. That emergency access will have breakaway bollards that are given, keys are given to the fire department for access. It'll be built to the spec, and it's located on the plan in the upper right-hand corner between lots 31 and 32, just south of the basin. This is a cleaner approach, we feel, than the other approach. Swartley Road bends right in this area, and there's a little bit of elevation going around. You can see on this plan, this is the alternate. This is the double access plan. So this plan has a secondary access road at the top. There are sight distance lines in pink shown on this plan. And you can see how the one sight distance line cuts significantly across the corner where the basin is. So you're looking out over land when you're going to make a left-hand or a right-hand turn out of that street. We've had conversations with staff and consultants on both plans. They're both viable options, so it's really looking for board feedback as to what, the board thinks each one of these, has for the community.
So if I could just jump in for a second. So the operating mechanism here of this discussion is the waiver that was originally requested for 2 access points serving the retirement village use, which is still on the table as a waiver request. So the board has 3 alternatives in terms of looking at that particular request. You could either approve the waiver as it's written, which would basically default to the original plan. You could approve the waiver conditionally upon providing an emergency access to Swartley Road as was shown on the one sketch, or you could deny the waiver, which would effectively default to the plan, I guess that is the second plan here, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm just giving you that lay of the land there as far as that goes.
And that's waiver number 3 on the January 29th Holmes Cunningham waiver letter.
Before we move ahead on that, just so the board's aware, so there was extensive discussion at your December meeting about the other waivers that were being requested. There were several waivers that, during discussion, the board did not support, and it wasn't official action on, but there was definitely a consensus among the board that there wasn't support for these waivers. The applicant has subsequently withdrawn those waivers. That's correct, Rich?
Correct.
So there's been a new waiver letter submitted that has eliminated the waivers for full width overlay of the cartway of Swartley Road within the frontage of the site. It also removed the waiver that was previously requested for the alternative path material for the pedestrian walkway along Swartley Road. So effectively it would be concrete, which is what the ordinance requires. And also there was a waiver requested a parking lot shading for the community building, which was also withdrawn, so that they would have to amend the plan to show the required number of trees around the parking lot.
That's correct.
Right. And the last thing I will mention to the board, which has happened subsequent to the December meeting, there was a discussion at the December meeting about the intersection of Swartley Road and Route 309 or Bethlehem Pike, and about any potential improvements that could be done there to that intersection to, especially to do with the left turn lane, the left turn movement. So there was a virtual meeting held with representatives of PennDOT and the township and the applicant early in January. The idea was to decide whether or not there could be any permittable improvements there in PennDOT's eyes, and what PennDOT came back and said it would have to come from the township for official review, but they would either support signage to limit just for certain hours of the day a left turn. It would just be a regulatory issue to let motorists know that at certain times of day they should not be making a left turn there. Or the other option would be more of a permanent alteration of the cartway to physically prevent vehicles from making a left turn, but that would be permanent at any time of the day. So I guess what I would be suggesting to the board, if you were so inclined to look at that area as an issue, is you would have 3 options there too as well. Your options would be if you wanted to see the signage, if you wanted to see a physical barrier, which would be a permanent all day long, 7 days a week physical barrier, or 3 would be just to do nothing. This is always an option. So those are the 3 things there. I'm just throwing those things out there just because those are things that were talked about in December, but there was no information enough for you to make a decision on at that point, but now you have more information. I just want to make sure you understood that.
You want me to go first?
Go for it.
All right. I'll take them one at a time. With respect to the access plans, I am in favor of the emergency access coming in off of Swartley Road. With that being said, if my cohort here is in agreement with that, that obviously I think should go back to the fire company for review, and that would be, I believe it's Station 60. Is that correct?
Hilltown.
Hilltown,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Obviously, I wouldn't want to see the road gold-plated or the yellow brick road or anything like that, but I would want it to be to their specifications, most likely, I would imagine, width-wise in respect to what they want put there for the vehicle egress in and out. The second thing that Tim brought up would be the signage, or doing nothing, or the permanent type, pork chop type barrier. I'm in favor of the signage. I'm not in favor of the pork chop, and I'm not in favor of doing nothing. So I'm in favor of the signage on that. Tim, did we say anything about sewer planning module at all?
No,
I'm sorry.
That's got to be done yet, obviously.
Yeah.
And so that would be something that, depending on what happens tonight, that would have to come back before you at a later date for review and execution. So That's not going to be an issue that's going to be resolved tonight.
Okay.
So if there is any level of action on this plan in terms of an approval, that would still have to be done as a conditional item anyway, and that's in my letter.
Okay, great. And obviously, you're gonna, depending on what happens tonight, you're gonna be reviewing this plan 100 more times yet till this is done.
Possibly.
And the final thing would be any type of capital contribution, and my recommendation would be that, we handle that at another time with respect to capital contribution. And I am in favor, I know it was requested about preliminary final, I am in favor of discussing preliminary final as well tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, I will agree, the emergency exit onto Swartley is more attractive to me just because of the issue with line of sight when you're exiting. Obviously, if it's a main road, it's going to be used a lot more than emergency exit. So I would prefer the emergency exit. I'm not in favor of pork chops. No offense to pig farmers out there, but I think the signage is the right move at that place. And capital contribution, we can address that at a later point. I'm not in favor of deferring the payment of capital contribution until the time of building permits regardless.
I'm in agreement with that. I forgot that one.
One thing I would like to know is what the cost difference would be between doing a full-fledged road onto Swartley, as in, I can't tell what plan is up there, but compared to the emergency access. So I'd like to know what the cost differential is for that. And we can discuss that prior to final approval as well.
We can, like we did the last time with the contribution amounts, we can put that together. We can submit a letter to Tim's office for review along with our other submissions, and then we can come back to you in terms of that and the frontage. We still have frontage improvements that we have to do contributions for that were included in the first letter. So we'll revise that with our submissions, submit that along with it, and we can discuss that at the next meeting.
Okay.
You in agreement then as a condition of preliminary final? That?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna put that motion out and then we'll ask for
Yeah,
public
gonna be a
comment.
handful.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as waiver 3, we are suggesting that an emergency exit go in to link to Swartley Road. We do require signage at the intersection of Swartley Road and 309. We will not defer payment of capital contributions until the time of the building permits. And then we would like a review of all capital contributions previous to final approval.
As a condition of
Previous?
preliminary
Do you wanna do-
final.
Are you okay doing preliminary and final tonight? Or you wanna do preliminary? They have to come back anyways. If we were to do preliminary, since the plan is not changing, I would say you would not have to go back to the planning
Commission. You would just come to us.
For
final.
for final
For
approval.
final, yes, if that's the way you want to go.
I like that a little better.
You do.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming back regardless.
Okay. All right, I'm in agreement with that. So he comes to us.
Yeah.
That's fine. And as part of that though, fire company review with respect to that
Right,
egress,
for waiver
the
number
emergency.
3.
And we've already reached out to them.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay. I think that sums it up for me.
Tim, we missing anything?
No, just if you're going to make a motion, my suggestion would be that you're going to address the waivers that are currently requested in the most recent letter.
Yep.
So not the ones that were itemized in my letter, because there are some that have been withdrawn. So I would refer to the, what's the date? I'm sorry.
January 29th.
January 29th, 2026 letter from Holmes Cunningham. You'd also stipulate the requirement of the emergency access onto Swartley as part of the waiver for the 2 accesses. You'd also stipulate a itemization of cost for the difference in price between the construction of a full access and the emergency access. And then you would also obviously reference the December 2nd, 2025 review letter from my office. And I think I captured all that. And payment up front of the capital contribution,
Right.
but that could be done at final review. And signage at the Swartley Road intersection.
Yeah, and that's the state, you'll be involved, you're gonna do the legwork for that, and obviously we'll
Yeah,
contribute
it'll be
to that.
submitted on behalf of the township, but we can do all the legwork.
Okay. Is that, you good with that, Tim?
Yep, that's fine with me.
Anything else, Caleb?
Nope, I'll put the motion together here,
Okay.
hopefully. All right. Give you 20 minutes here.
So we'll reiterate it one more time.
Yeah. Well, we can go through the approvals by number two. Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve waiver number 1, which has to do with the stormwater basin bottoms less than 2% slope? Approval of waiver number 2, which is the 10-to-1 ratio. And then as far as waiver number 3, we're gonna require an emergency access onto Swartley Road instead of a full-fledged road. Approval number 4, which is permit for a cul-de-sac longer than 500 feet will be approved. Approval of number 5, which is partial waiver from providing curb along the full frontage property. There's a water main there. Approval of waiver number 6, which is to permit Belgian block curbing inside the development. Approval number 7, which is approving the elimination of reinforced concrete pipe and going with a RCP pipe. Approval of number 8, which is approving the waiver from matching the elevation of the crown of all pipes. Approval number 9, or approval for waiver number 9, which is approval from providing recreational facilities as required, because they are putting in 2 bocce courts at the clubhouse. Additionally, everything will be compliant with Tim's letter from December 22nd, 2025. Let me find the rest of this. We will also require signage at the intersection of 309 and Swartley Road. We will not defer payment of capital contribution until the time of the building permits, and we want the difference from building a emergency exit and full-fledged road on the Swartley Road. And
Take a look at that.
yeah, we'll
Do
take a
that.
look at that as
Yeah.
contingent upon final approval. I think that's it, right, Tim?
Yeah, I think you have it.
Could
All
you
right.
check the date on that letter? Did you say December 2nd or December?
22nd.
22nd.
It's 12/2,
Oh, that's the
Oh, it is.
12/2?
December 2nd.
My review is 12/2, if that's the letter you were trying to refer to.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
apologize, I might have missed you on that.
Sorry, December 2nd. My apologies.
22nd is Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Any public comment?
Yes, any public comment? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
That was a mouthful.
Okay, we'll move on to engineering at this point, I believe. First item is the Regency at Hilltown Land Development completion status. Just to remind everyone, this is the age-qualified residential community between Mincy Trail and Route 313. This was a development built by Toll Brothers. The work associated with the public improvements and the quasi-public improvements has been completed to an extent that this project's ready to go into the 18-month maintenance period. However, there's a couple items of, I would recommend as conditions of acceptance of the completion of the development work. First one is that the developer will need to maintain in a form acceptable to the township financial security in the amount of 15% of the original amount of financial security for the cost of improvements to be retained during the 18-month maintenance period to guarantee the structural integrity, of all those improvements. And just for your information, we are talking about the road system, the public walks along the road system, the stormwater management facilities, including piping and basins. It also refers to all the required landscaping and any other similar improvements like signage and so forth. Those are all part of the plan and the developer's agreement, and those would still be guaranteed during the maintenance period. Second item has to do with the intersection of Mincy Trail and Route 113. There is a traffic circle that PennDOT is planning to install there. However, as part of the obligations of the developer was required way back when this plan was approved to guarantee that either a traffic signal gets put in there or there would be a $150,000 contribution made to the township in lieu of a traffic signal. Since the project is at this stage and the PennDOT project has yet to start, what recommendation would be is that the developer will deposit with the township the $150,000 cash that the township will initially hold as an escrow to make sure that PennDOT does indeed go forward with the roundabout. If for some reason, unbeknownst to anybody, that the roundabout project does not move forward, then that escrow would be held to assure that the developer, which is still Toll Brothers in this case, would seek from PennDOT permission to put a traffic signal in. Probably unlikely, but it does give us the flexibility for 18 more months that could be done. And the last item is that during the most recent time frame in the last month or two, it was brought to our attention that there is some sidewalk that is starting to require to be addressed during the maintenance period, just repair work. Because it's sidewalk, because people are using the sidewalk, my recommendation would be that acceptance would be conditioned upon Toll Brothers expediting those repairs early in the maintenance period during suitable weather in spring, so that it does not wait till the end of the maintenance period to be done, and I believe Toll Brothers is accepting of that. So those are the three items that I would reference as conditions of your acceptance if you choose to do that tonight.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve completion of the project authorizing commencement of the 18-month maintenance period with the reduced financial security, conditioned upon the financial security being 15% of the original cost of required improvements until the conclusion of the 18-month period. Additionally, the developer will deposit $150,000 with the township to be utilized as financial security until it can be verified that PennDOT will install the roundabout at the intersection of 113 and Mincy Trail, or a traffic signal is approved and permitted by PennDOT for installation at this intersection. And also conditioned upon revisiting the concrete sidewalk that may need to be replaced or repaired in spring to work with Tim to make sure they are compliant.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there any public comment?
You want to get up to the microphone, Scott, please, just so we're recording this, by the way, just so they can hear you.
I'm Scott Martin. I'm a board member of the HOA for the Regency of Hilltown. Tim and I have gone over all our issues in reference to what he's indicated this evening. Everything's in order. There was concerns in reference to what the bond periods were going to be and what items would be held, but we've discussed that, so I have no further objection.
Great. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Second that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, and then the last item under engineering is the Hilltown Glen, or as I know it as 781 Mincy Trail subdivision. This was the residential single-family lots that were constructed on a cul-de-sac right off of Mincy Trail, right down the road from the Regency. This project is complete from the standpoint it has been already dedicated to the township, the roadway, and so forth, but the 18-month maintenance period has now come to its end. We did do an inspection of the work on the project. Everything is in order. Last thing that was done was some tree replacement, so everything is good to go on that. So I would recommend that the township accept completion of the 18-month maintenance period with the caveat that the developer is responsible for payment of any and all engineering, legal, and township administrative costs incurred during the project.
Okay. Can I Can I get a motion to accept completion of the 18-month maintenance period for Hilltown Glen, 781 Mincy Trail, and release the remaining financial security to the developer upon payment of all engineering, legal, and township administrative costs?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, unfinished business, none. New business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 9A, motion to approve Resolution 2026-008A, establishing tax rates for calendar year 2025. This resolution is to amend Resolution 2026-008, which was previously passed at the reorganization meeting. There was an omission on that resolution. It was missing the streetlight tax, which was subject to special assessment. Therefore, this amendment is to add that into the tax rate for this calendar year. And there is a typo on the agenda. It's for calendar year 2026.
Oh dear. Okay, good. I was going to say we missed it.
Yeah.
Any questions, Jim?
I do not.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve resolution 2026-008A, establishing tax rates for the calendar year 2026?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 9B, motion to approve Resolution 2026-012, 2026 streetlight assessment rates. This is due to the streetlight assessment coming out of remittance for this year. So this is to establish the new rates.
Anything surprising in there, or pretty much standard stuff, right?
Standard.
Okay. Any questions, Jim?
None.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2026-012, 2026 streetlight assessment rates?
Make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 9C, motion to approve Resolution 2026-013, Hilltown Township Traffic Signal Maintenance Agreement. This resolution is approving my ability to send a maintenance agreement with PennDOT up for the traffic light at 309 and Diamond. Maintenance agreement was held for this meeting, but is prepared and waiting for approval for some right-of-way cleanup that's currently being worked on. Solicitor Worstel and Tim and I were on a meeting trying to sort through that. So that is anticipated to hopefully be on the agenda in the next month or two. But we don't want to move forward with that agreement until everything's buttoned up.
So do you want to table this?
Well, this is just to allow me to sign it once
okay.
that
Gotcha.
agreement,
Alright.
yeah.
Correct.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2026-013, Hilltown Township Traffic Signal Maintenance Agreement?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 9D can actually be removed from the agenda. There was a resolution that was passed at the reorganization meeting that Berkheimer is satisfied with to move forward with our new finance director. We found that out late this morning, so we didn't have enough time to remove it from the agenda prior to posting it for public.
Okay.
I'm not sure if a motion's needed to remove it, but
No active business, right?
I think we're okay. Item 9E, motion to advertise for ordinance 2026-001, creating an advisory park and recs committee and designating committee responsibilities. I'm not sure, Caleb, if you would, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, would like to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, you're welcome to call me Caleb. But all right. Basically, we had a park and rec board previously, and we're just changing the structure to a committee. Gives us a little bit more freedom with some of the regulations that are required when you have a board compared to a committee. So we're excited to get going on the 2026 season. Can I get a motion to advertise for ordinance 2026-001, creating an advisory park and rec committee and designating committee responsibilities?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And item 9F, motion to approve front yard setback for 604 Hickory Street for Habitat for Humanity. We have tonight the Habitat for Humanity team here. Mr. Mike Fallon, Construction Director for Habitat, is present to speak more on this request. And it looks like we also have their engineer and Florence, the Executive Director for Habitat.
Great.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Chad Brensinger from Charles Shoemaker in Montgomeryville. I'm here with representatives from Habitat for Humanity. We were hired by them this fall to prepare a site survey and building permit plans for the lot located at 604 Hickory Avenue in Telford. Did the site survey, established the setback lines. We knew we were going to need zoning relief. Prepared a zoning plan, submitted to the zoning officer for their review and denial. And we were advised that since we only needed relief for front yard setbacks, the board could approve this, in essence, relief without going to the zoning hearing board if we met if it was similar to the neighborhood. So we surveyed both sides of the adjacent properties, and the neighboring properties range between 19 and 22 feet setback, and I think we were asking for 21 feet. So we're largely similar to the neighborhood. I have aerial exhibits of the whole neighborhood if anybody would like to see it. But that's pretty much it. We comply for all of the zoning, so that's the only relief that we would need. So we could, proceed with building permits after this, in essence.
Okay.
So the only thing you're looking for is that. You said everything else you comply with, am I correct? With respect
Correct.
to zoning?
Yeah, we have a building envelope of 6 feet by 35 feet or something like that if you put all the setbacks in. But all the lots in that neighborhood are very small and have large setbacks, and this house would be very similar to the existing houses in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Florence and Mr. Fallon had come in to discuss the design concept for the house as well, and they plan to make it very similar to the houses in the neighborhood. It looks like it'll be a very nice addition to that road. Yes.
Great. Well, I did go on Google Earth, and there's a lot of houses in that neighborhood that are really close to the street. So
Go ahead, Jack.
I think I need to weigh in on something, or maybe try to understand something better. Let me start by saying I represent Habitat for Humanity of Chester County. So that's not a conflict here. These are a different group of people. But I don't really understand what Caitlin is saying about not going to the zoning hearing board for variance, because it seemed.
Jack, sorry to interrupt you, but there's a provision in the zoning ordinance that speaks to, and that's what I think Caitlin's citing here. There's an actual provision, believe it or not, that says if you don't meet the front yard setback, that the board has discretion to allow them to build the house into the front yard setback, provided it matches the neighborhood.
Okay.
So that's the only reason they're here tonight, is to go over that. If there was any other variances, then they'd have to go to zoning hearing board, but I think.
Had not encountered that before.
Yep, it's a little unusual, I will grant you, but to save you the long-winded question.
I was confused by that ask, so that's fine.
Thank you, Tim.
Yep, sure.
Tell him to settle down there. Just settle down there.
Thank you, Jack, for
Just trying to
clarifying.
protect you, that's all.
I know. And just confirm it is 604 Hickory Ave, not street. Hickory Ave. Okay. All right.
Well, it was showing up differently in different, and I believe we had an issue with the fire department as well, Telford. We had recently marked it.
There is signage up there now, it says Hickory Avenue.
Yes, yeah.
So do you want the motion made as street or Ave?
The TMP is the same either way.
Okay.
The motion can be
All right.
whatever you wish.
Because I drove down Hickory Ave.
We're gonna make it a boulevard.
Drive, Hickory Drive.
All right, motion to approve front yard setback for 604 Hickory Ave in Telford for a Habitat and Humanity home.
So moved.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
yes, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have something new that we're doing in 2026. We're gonna have an update from our police chief, which I hope you knew about this, Chris. If not, surprise.
He did,
And,
he knew.
and also an update from our Public Works Director. So Chris, if you wouldn't mind.
You guys
The look on his face.
He has notes. He's got notes. He's got notes.
I mean, before you begin, Chief, did you say you were here when Ashley Watts and...
Ashby Watts.
Ashby
yeah.
Watts,
Ashby
okay.
Watts.
Ashley Watts, I thought was a character from Gone with the Wind. I was thinking, holy smokes, you're older than I
He was a
thought.
he was a character.
You're even older than I thought you were.
He was you're right, but he was not in Gone with the Wind.
Yes, and Sergeant Ed Smith too. I was here for that. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, manager had asked me to provide an update on some items, one of which is the accreditation status of the police department. The board is aware, probably almost 3 years ago now, we started to revamp our policies through grant funds. It's hard to believe it's almost 3 years, but that was in preparation for moving towards accreditation. Accreditation would be through the Pennsylvania Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, which falls under the Pennsylvania Police Chiefs Association. Those policies were completed well over a year ago, and the board had approved funds for us to pursue accreditation for the remainder of the way, which was again providing proofs that we actually did what we said we do as far as the standards set by the commission. So that took approximately a year. Early in January, we were set for our mock assessment to make sure that there was not going to be any issues when we actually held the assessment. We passed that. We then, January 28th and 29th, we actually had the full assessment. We had 3 assessors here for a day and a half. They came in, they did ride-alongs with officers, reviewed policies, reviewed standards, inspected our equipment in the facility. Everything met the standards, and I received a letter the other day advising us that we will be recommended for accreditation at the commission's meeting April 23rd. Does this board have any questions regarding that process? This is, the accreditation is based on the past year. The next phase of that would be a 3-year window. So the first one is a 1-year window. The next is a 3-year window.
Congratulations. I know there was a lot of work that went into that.
Thank you. Yep, Lieutenant Brown was our accreditation manager through that. He worked with Law Enforcement Accreditation Services to get this process through.
What was the biggest benefit to the department?
I think it just adds, it really does make you do what you say you do.
Yeah.
You look at the policies and, you have to show that you're doing what's in there. So I think it's really a great benefit to us.
Great.
Will you attend that meeting on the
Yes.
23rd, Chris?
Yeah, it's out in Harrisburg.
Is that something you have to present, or is it?
No, the people that, the commissioner that was here that did the assessment, he will present his findings to the commission, and they will then vote on our status.
Is it, if they have any questions, will they ask you if you're?
Yes.
They will,
Yeah,
okay.
I doubt they would have any questions at this point because they give a detailed report
I gotcha.
and answer all those questions.
All right, great.
I mean, there's over 1,200 police departments in the state, and we will be between like 200 and 300 that are accredited.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Well, congrats. I hope it goes well on the 23rd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, I want to give a quick year-end review for 2025. As the board's aware, we had Officer Adamson retire in early 2025. We also unexpectedly had Officer Nurse resign in September of 25. So we hired Officer Isaac Fries. Always want to say Fries, but it's Fries. And Officer Jason Barish to fill those vacancies. Officer Fries is now out on his own, doing solo patrol. Officer Barish will actually be out next week on his own. So we finally have a full complement out. Also, Administrative Assistant Kathy Lindsay retired, and Gina Francona was hired to fill her vacancy, and there was an overlap there so we could train her. She's doing an excellent job, and matter of fact, right now is working by herself because of Donna being out for a little bit on medical. So she's doing a very good job for us.
2025, statistic-wise, we handled over 10,000 incidents total. We made 300 criminal arrests. Some crime stats dropped, like thefts actually dropped by 48%, which is actually really surprising. Some areas went up a little bit, and some roughly stayed the same. We issued over 1,400 citations, 1,100 written warnings, and 700 verbal warnings. We handled 625 accidents, which seems an enormous amount of accidents to me, but 625 accidents, and 268 of them were reportables, which means it was either injury or a tow was required. We made 100 driving under the influence arrest. We trained over 200,000, that would be a lot, 2,000 hours, so it's over 100 hours per officer last year. And there were over 2,400 hours of overtime incurred with everything. We also had over $100,000 in reimbursed overtime in 2025 stemming from traffic safety grants and special police service details and such. Does the board have any questions about that or anything else?
You guys are busy.
You guys are busy.
It's busy. It was a busy week.
I'm glad to hear you didn't miss a beat in the office. That's great. When you had to.
Yep, yeah, she's doing really well.
Excellent. All right.
Just trying to keep her head on straight. She's
You gotta
doing the
keep-
work. She's doing the work of like 2.5 people. So she's doing.
Is she really?
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Great job.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Public Works Director update.
It'll be a tough act to follow here.
Oh, I hear you. I'm following a legend. So thank you guys very much for having me tonight. I appreciate it. Just going over a couple quick items here that I was asked to put together regarding our winter maintenance so far. This has been, as everyone knows, a winter to remember. It started early and it keeps hanging on. So everybody right now is talking about the salt shortage across every local municipality that is surrounding Hilltown. I want to assure everyone we are more than stocked if we have a somewhat normal rest of the winter. So our stockpile's good. I have 800 tons of salt on order from Morton's, which I don't expect to see probably until June. But when it does get here, it'll kind of backfill what we have in reserve, which we've always kept in reserve, but this year it's just, we're into it right now. But it should last the next couple weeks, because once March hits, we really don't use a ton of salt anyway. Once the sun gets a little bit lower, and it should work. So I have my fingers crossed there. We didn't, throughout that large snowstorm, we really didn't incur any big damages or anything like that, so that was a plus. What else do I have? Moving into our 2026 road and stormwater projects. Does anybody have any questions about our winter maintenance so far?
How much salt have you thrown down so far?
So we've done about 9 salt runs, not including that big storm, because we broke it up into different aspects. So 9 full salt runs. We'll put down about 125 tons per salt run. So we've gone through what we usually go through is about 2,000 tons a winter if we have a normal winter. This year will be about 2,300 tons. So we're not far off. It just seems like it's nuisance storm after nuisance storm after nuisance storm. So like I said, as long as the 600 ton I have in that building holds us for the next couple of weeks, we'll be good. So as far as our road program, our 2026 road program, I know a lot of residents will be thrilled to hear this one. Fair Hill Road from 152 out to the Fair Hill Road Bridge is going to get a single chip and fog seal. Same thing we did on Upper Church Road last year. The oil and chip, I know everybody hates it, but it's the most effective way to maintain a roadway anymore. It's cost effective, and it turns out nice. The seal, the fog seal that we put on top of it, really gives it supposed to give it another 3 years of longevity on top of the chip seal. Plus, it gives it a roadway finish, so it like I said, it'll help. So I have Fair Hill Road, I have West Creamery from Telegraph to Callow Hill, and Welcome House Road. They're all getting, like I said, a single chip and a polymer fog seal. And then our in-house paving work, we're doing Rickert Road. Well, this is as of right now until I get another 1.5 inches of water underneath the road this weekend, because it's not going to have anywhere to go. Then it's going to freeze, then it's going to thaw. So this could kind of throw a stick in my spokes of what roads are going to be paved this summer, just depending on which ones blow out and all that kind of stuff. Because I can lose an entire stretch of roadway over a bad winter. So as of right now, I'm scheduled to pave Rickert Road from Callow Hill to Blooming Glen. That's a mill and pave in-house job. And then I'm trying to pave Telegraph from West Creamery out to 113, because I'm kind of losing the profile of the road there. So, but like I said, things after this winter shakeout could change a little bit. You know, not much, but a little bit. So we'll see about that. Any questions there?
When you chip and fog seal and all,
Yep.
when you're all done, you have a street sweeper come in and pick up the.
So what it is
Usually?
Once they do the oil and chip work, they'll come in and sweep all the loose stones.
Okay.
We'll go into independent driveways. We'll blow the driveways out so residents aren't left with the stones in their driveway. And then they come through with that polymer fog, which locks in the stones, so you don't get that coming out for months and months and months and months. So and plus, like I said, it gives it a nice finish.
I live on Upper Church. I'll attest to that. When it was laid down, there were a lot of people, oh no, what are they doing? It looks awful. But then when they went through with the final coat, it looks great.
Good. And it holds up. You said it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's something new we're trying, I guess. We're trying anything we can, because the old oil and chip, it was the oil was a lot different. It had a lot more chemical in it, a lot more polymer in it. Well, now they keep liquefying just for, environmental purposes. It doesn't last. So everyone's sealing it now. So it's just, and like I said, it does. It holds up, and it gives the road a nice finish. So
yeah, looks good.
I got my fingers crossed. I got a couple larger stormwater projects this year. One of them being a box culvert replacement on West Creamery Road that Mr. Fulmer was kind enough to design for me, I guess, 8 months ago? What's that? East Creamery Road, I'm sorry. East Creamery Road box culvert replacement that Mr. Fulmer was kind enough to design for me, I guess, 8 months ago now. I'm going to submit that to Oldcastle Precast for a build. So I'll loop Mr. Fulmer in on that, and then once they approve it and they say, we can start designing it, the reason I have to do it now and get it built now, it takes I just was on the phone with him the other day, about 8 weeks to get it built, and I got to factor that into summertime. I'm hoping August of getting it done, so I'm not pumping the creek out and all that kind of stuff. And so I have that, and then I have a couple smaller stormwater projects over on Highland Park. I got an inlet box and a new pipe I'm putting in on the hard bend there. We've had some flooding issues. We've had some flooding issues over there, and it's getting a little concerning because the water gets up to like the yellow line, and there's a business on the other side of that, and I can see them looking out the windows like, uh-oh, should I get my snorkel or what? So I think we've let it go long enough, and it's time we address it. It's not a big project. It's just something that needs to be done. I have a couple small pipes we're doing on Broad Street, a couple inlet boxes we're doing on Broad Street because I'm projected to pave Broad Street the following year. So I like to do all the pipe work and inlet box work and all that stuff the year prior just to let it settle. And then most importantly, our community service projects for the year. The guys and I have been doing these, we call them Public Works Days of Service, where we go out and plant trees throughout the community. So we do it with the Travis Manion Foundation. This year we're trying to do it on May 9th without the rain coming and all that stuff. So that's our projected date. I would like to try including our Parks and Rec Board Committee on that, just to get some input on where we can put trees and all that kind of stuff. So that's it.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I gotta thank you personally for the help you gave us out there on Mincy Trail with that water main break.
Not a
I
problem.
greatly appreciate it. That was that was a son of a gun. That was a nasty one. Unexpected, deeper than we thought, but I appreciate you guys being out there. Appreciate you salting and helping out and everything. And you guys got water. You had water, which was fantastic. And then we did the final repair on Monday. So
Yeah, it worked
I
out.
appreciate that. Thank you, bud. Very much so.
Absolutely.
And good job with the storm.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
How often do you have a main break like that?
Silence. That's the knock on wood. That's the first bad one we've had since I've been here for almost 30 years now.
Yeah,
That was it. And it was because I've never seen this happen before, that it actually pulled the pipe out of the bell, so the earth heaved enough to separate the pipe. I've never seen that before. We thought for sure once we get down there, there's a hole, we'll clamp it. No, wrong. We'd physically pull them back together temporarily and clamp it, and then go in and cut on either side and fix it. But no, they were a big help, so it was huge.
It's great. Manager update.
Well, earth heaving is a great segue
It's a great, I see.
into our Forest Road Park update for 2025 Q4 report. So as everyone knows, we have been monitoring the situation at Forest Road Park, where we have the crack throughout our stormwater basin and beyond into the park. And then in Q2 of last year, we had identified a new anomaly at the park with what we're coining as a sinkhole, but it's not over limestone. It's not technically a sinkhole for all of the geophysicists in the audience. There is still movement that has been detected in Q4, horizontal and vertical movement, but it's within the same variance that we've seen over the last year, so it is consistent. We're not seeing any major areas of concern that are being monitored, and there aren't any significant changes to report, so that is good. The sinkhole, however, has increased another foot to 5 feet in diameter, but the depth has decreased, so it's actually started to fill itself in, which is great. But we won't know more until the snow melts and we get a better look. Thermal detection this quarter was a little difficult just with the temperatures. So we're hoping to get some clarity by Q2 of 2026. And just as a reminder for all residents, that we are going to continue to monitor the situation at Forest Road Park over the next year. So 2026 Q4 will be our final monitoring on our current contract, and then at that point, the board will reevaluate and we will make a determination as to whether or not it needs to continue to be monitored or if we can open the park. So we wanted to just make sure that there was an update on that for everyone. And then item 12B, the fire study. We have officially been assigned a consultant for our fire study. We have an upcoming meeting with our fire departments where we will discuss further our next steps in the fire study. But we are very excited to continue to get that process moving. And we very much look forward to completing the study and working through all of the preliminary data collection, which is already underway, and getting the ball rolling on that study.
Great.
Thank you, Deanna.
Yes, thank you.
So just to be clear, Forest Road Park is currently closed.
Yes, please don't go in. It is not a dog park, as many thought that it was. It's not a private dog park. Don't let your dogs run in the park, please.
Okay. Good job.
Supervisors' comments. I have none.
Likewise. Public comment. Don't be shy. It's all right.
You don't know me. I'm never shy.
Any press? Okay. Seeing none. Can I get a motion to adjourn at, looks like 8:13?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much for
Thank you
coming out.
all.